Hello everyone and welcome to another royal reading. I have the Tarot Nova on the tarot table for this reading. That's the little box, the box with no name, the Tarot Nova, and it's my go-to deck for when I read on children because it's very simplistic. It's a little mini deck, very childlike, reads very well, and I am reading on the children in California. And I have to remind you right now that this is a tarot reading for entertainment purposes or just speculation or just my opinion, and there is a disclaimer in the box below as the cards go flying around. Ooh, I think we're ready. And the reading I'm going to be doing is prompted by something that Lady C said a few days ago in one of her YouTube videos. She said that there are whispers around. There is a feeling that King Charles should intervene in California to save the children. And I am not quoting exactly, but this is the gist of what she said, that there are concerns about the environment that they are in. I'm doing a Celtic cross, just by the way, as I lay the cards out. There are concerns about the situation that they are in, concerns about the level of delusion that Meghan is possibly exhibiting in her podcasts and things like that. And hence the desire to perhaps intervene. And there are grandfather rights in California, although I don't really know how that would apply to Charles because he's not a California resident. But there is possibly some sort of legal recourse that he might have. He is, of course, the King of England, so that would help. But we're going to look with our Celtic cross here. We're going to see what the circumstances are that the children are in, and we are going to see if there is any form of intervention going on. I'll explain the cards as we go. I always give them specific meanings in these Celtic crosses that I do on this channel, so they are a little bit different to a regular Celtic cross. I write my questions down, I think about them, and we have underlying energy. We have the King of Wands in reverse. And that's an unhappy king. If we're looking at King Charles, we have a king and we have a king in the reverse. We have a grandfather in the reverse. We have somebody who is depressed, who is anxious, possibly even quite angry. There are a lot of dramas around. This could also be a Harry card that's come out, that Prince Harry is the one that's coming through as the underlying energy, who is anxious and concerned and in a lot of trouble. He could be got a lot of domestic drama around him. It's either or. I started thinking it was King Charles, but I'm leaning more and more towards a Harry energy with that King of Wands in reverse. Don't often read King Charles as a fire sign, as a King of Wands, whereas I very often read Harry as a King of Wands. So it's probably Harry who's coming out here, who's in trouble, and it could be the SOS that's going out that we have seen and we've read on relentlessly on this channel. So let's see the situation. This is a reading from King Charles's point of view. The situation with the children, what's going on, the Two of Pentacles, that's the juggling card. They're trying to find balance. They're trying to figure out how to allocate your resources and how to balance the situation, keep things on the level, keep things under control without getting overwhelmed. So there is a possibility that behind the scenes things are out of control and there are people who are experiencing overwhelm, like that King of Wands in reverse, that are maybe depressed, maybe self-medicating, maybe in a little bit of trouble and need some help sorting things out. And so what particular problems are the children potentially in as far as this goes? And we get the Sun. That is a very happy card. I'm not seeing problems. There's only one problem with that card, and that is it's a publicity card that is being used for publicity. Allegedly, speculating, let's throw all of those words in here. The Sun is a magnificent card, but it is the spotlight falling on being used, and perhaps being used in Netflix documentaries, or being used for attention, or being used for notice, and we want titles, and we're going to merch, and this is what we're going to do. It could be as basic as that. This is not the parents are lying by the pool with a bottle of rum and at 10 o'clock in the morning. It's not that kind of problem. It's how are these children possibly being used? Potentially in the near future, we've got a Netflix documentary coming out. So I'm not seeing harm here. I'm not seeing neglect. I'm not seeing that kind of stuff. It's different energy that's coming through. If there is a delusion, it's in the grandiosity of the sun. The sun is very, very powerful. And it could be in the sense of the ambitions that she has, that Meghan has for these children, the delusions of grandeur, their importance, that she thinks they literally are the sun, they are the center of the universe, the center of the solar system, and they should be acknowledged as such. And it could be that kind of issue that is concerning, but that's not a welfare case. That's not going to courts to get access, to get guardianship rights. It's not that kind of issue. But let's see what's going on behind the scenes. What is going on behind the scenes right now? We get the Knight of Cups. That is more of a King Charles energy that is reaching out, possibly. How are you? I've had this card before. A little bit of an intervention energy. This card has come up in the past few days, reading on similar topics. Do you need help? I'm here. I'm listening. I love you. I will help. Whatever you need, I can give you, except possibly titles and Windsor Castle. It's concern, but it's love. It's holding out the hand of friendship and saying, do you need help? If you need help, I'm here. And my resources are at your disposal. My emotional resources, not my financial resources. Let's just make that very clear. And so what's going on in terms of focus and goals? What is King Charles thinking? What is he up to? What does he want? The Hierophant. He wants them under his control. He does. The Hierophant. Now we get it. The Hierophant is the authority, is the structure, is the status quo, is rules and regulations, and laying the law down and saying this is how it's going to be. This is the Hierophant. This is the right thing to do, and now you listen to me and you do it. And I'm putting on my parent voice, which I don't often put on. But it's laying down the law, and this is what's going to happen. And we are the royal family, we are the Hierophant, and reel them in, reel those kids in. They have the DNA, they're in the bloodline, allegedly, and so they must be brought into the fold, and they must be part of the system. They must be, I don't want to say processed, that sounds terrible, but they must be in that umbrella, in that hierarchy where they belong. He wants that. He really does want that. He wants them back in England. Done reading a while ago on them going to school. There was a rumour that they might be sent to boarding school in the UK. That would work. Or not boarding school as such right now, but send them to the UK. He absolutely wants this. He absolutely wants this. He's going about it as delicately as he possibly can, being very sensitive about it. These kids are not at risk in the sense that I thought when I heard what Lady C was talking about. There might be some degree of imbalance there, but it's not cray-cray. It's not crazy. They have nannies. They have watchful eyes on them. They are not in that kind of distress, but they're perhaps being exploited, and they're perhaps the grandiosity is what is worrying the royals and worrying King Charles in particular, of the expectations. Interesting. So what's been going on in the recent past with the children? The King of Cups. Well, that there was a king, a new king on the block, and that's a water sign man. That's King Charles. That's what's happened. He's been elevated to that king status. He is now the one who represents the crown. He is now the Hierophant, and it's now his call what to do. He's trying to dial it down a little bit and not be intimidating with his power and his status, but that is who he is. He's now the boss. What's going to be happening in the near future with these children, with the situation? We get the Ace of Wands in reverse. Whatever there is hope of a new start is not going to happen with the Ace of Wands in reverse. It's interesting that this Ace of Wands is a writing card. A scroll and titles and honors and things like that. Not going to happen. Not soon. Not while the Netflix documentary is hanging around. Not while the book is hanging around. So they're not going to get, those kids aren't going to get titles. They're not going to get a new start in the royal family. An happy and exciting new start in the royal family is not coming up anytime soon. It's not. It's not, because the law is being laid down with the Hierophant. So, how does Charles view Meghan? Very, very direct question. How does he view her as a mother? And we get the Nine of Pentacles in reverse. She's in it for the money. It's in it for the money. It's all she cares about. It's that blunt. I'm going to be that blunt. It's not a surprise to any of us, I wouldn't say. It's a surprise that he sees it as clearly as he sees it. Almost he could buy her off. It came up with a good enough offer. The kids are for sale, and I'm speculating. I'm putting it like that in a very brazen way, because this is just speculating. I'm being overly dramatic for effect, but that is, she wants out. She feels trapped. She feels stuck. She hasn't got the money that she was expecting to get. Harry isn't the wealthy man that she thought he was going to be. The royals don't have all these assets floating around that she thought they were going to have. I see this energy repeatedly in my readings. And she wants out. She wants money. She wants her freedom. And as I say, if the right offer was made, I'm sure that those kids would be at boarding school in the UK before I could switch this camera off. So that's my opinion. What pressure is King Charles under right now? The Ace of Swords. This is this need for clarity, and I'm getting this a lot as well, this card. We've got aces coming up quite a lot at the moment. The desire for a new start, but if there is a new start, it's got to be absolutely clear. There can't be lies, there can't be confusion, there can't be doubt, there can't be illegality floating around. There has to be truth. There has to be truth. And this is a problem. This is a problem with her, because there isn't truth. There are issues, and we know what those issues are around the children. I'm not doing a reading on that right now. I thought it might show up. It's shown up obliquely with this Ace of Swords. The origin of the children, the provenance, shall we say, and issues around things like that. That is the pressure that he is under, that none of this can be clarified, none of this can be resolved. They can't be brought back in to that hierarchy without this being sorted out, and it is a big problem, all made by her. Well, and also by the Ginger Whinger, and that's definitely the Ginger Whinger in reverse. And sorry, it took me a while to get there. Another long day. And I've got a few more weeks of long days. So, hopes and fears, and we're looking at King Charles. Haven't seen the kids show up yet. Haven't seen any connection with the kids show up. Hopes and fears. Seven of Wands in reverse. He's worried that this is going to expose him. This whole thing is going to expose him. All the subterfuge, all the mystery is going to expose him. And that's being vulnerable. The Seven of Wands in reverse. Particularly if the truth is known in the royal family and it's been concealed, to protect the Ginger Whinger over here in particular. And people are going to say, well, you lied to us. You all lied to us, and now what? You think you can just bring them back in? and it's all going to be great and everyone's going to say that's lovely. Big problem. Big problem. All sitting around this Ace of Swords here. Outcome. What's going to happen? Oh yeah, it's the Empress in reverse. That's the Mother. That's an interesting card to come out in reverse, because it could be that the Mother gives up. The Mother walks away. I was talking about it down here. The Mother is exposed as not being the Mother. Let's see. What about the Empress in reverse would you like to tell us, please, Universe, before we close this reading? It's a very interesting card anyway. Big card to end as the outcome. What else could you please tell us about that Empress card? What would you like us to know about that card? Does it mean she goes away? Does it mean she's exposed? What does it mean? Her mother did it. Her mother walked away. Oops. I've got too many. Let's see. A little story maybe has come out. A little story. The Five of Swords in reverse is giving up the fight. That's her. The Strength card. And the Four of Swords in reverse. It's a very interesting little story we've got there. Strength card in the middle. Hope you can see it. I've got a great big plastic thing in the middle of my screen with this new little tripod that I'm using. So it's a bit hard for me to see what's actually going on the screen. We've got her, Harry and Meghan, but giving up the fight. Five of Swords in reverse. They're giving up the battle. You maybe can't see it because there's so many cards on the deck now, on the table. Five of Swords is the battle, the hollow victory, giving up the fight when it's in reverse, being defeated. And the Four of Swords is the rest card, the ruin card, the ruined reputation. It's in the reverse, no rest, exposed, giving up, going. Quite a dramatic end to this reading. I wasn't expecting it, but there it is. Something's coming down the pike. I can feel it. I'm feeling quite sort of tingly when I say that. Something's coming. Maybe one of these royal authors, the books that are out, maybe somebody somewhere is going to say something and then it's all over. It's all over, but it's going to be a big problem for the royal family. That is your reading. And thank you as ever for watching and supporting this channel. And I will see you again tomorrow.